Hello, this is David with Octovision. Just going to show you some Star Wars: The Old Republic. This is pretty much the only game I'm playing right now, taking up a lot of my time. So I'm going to try and do some videos on it. This one was recorded a little while back, showing the instance Athiss. I did a Black Talon video in the beta. I haven't done Hammer Station though. I did start to, but it didn't go too well. So let's listen to the story.
You've arrived at last. Good. Each of you has seen things no mind is meant to endure. You've struggled against the power of Sith dead for centuries. If you are not willing to face the darkness again, leave now, and I will forget your existence.
I'll fight the whole galaxy if I have to.
I'll take that as a scent. 1,000 years ago, the planet Athiss held the sanctum of Vodal Kresh, greatest of the Sith alchemists. Vodal was a mad savant who bred a race of slaves devoted to his glory. His hunger and spite were endless, and when he died, the Emperor declared Athiss forbidden.
Let me guess. Someone found Vodal's old sanctum.
2 days ago, we detected a signal from Athiss's surface. We believe a Republic survey party landed and disturbed the ruins. Something is stirring on the planet. Whether it's idiot explorers or Vodal's mad legacy, it cannot be allowed to escape.
If I help you, I'll need to study the teachings of this savant.
Your eagerness is understandable, but be cautious. Go to Athiss, eliminate whatever prowls Vodal's sanctum, and remove the scriptures he left behind. Let none of Vodal's power fall into enemy hands. Stop them from unleashing something uncontrollable.
Okay, so here we are in Athiss. I've run off to the side here. This isn't the way to go. I was waiting for a guy who was a bit late getting here, Tucko here. The other two ran off without us. I thought I'd be nice and wait. It's always nice to wait for your party members, people, if you go into an instance. Just trying to see which way they've gone. You can see up by here. There's 2 ways down. There's 2 ways down into here. There's a hole here on the left, which, if you have slicing crew skill, you can slice this terminal and it'll activate the elevator, which Tucko's done. If you don't have slicing, there's a hole just to the right there, and you just drop down there. You sort of plop down onto the different layers, different platforms, and you won't take too much damage, but you'll take a bit of damage. So it's quite useful to wait for this lift, which we do, and the other guys could have taken advantage of if they'd waited. So I should start by saying this isn't going to be... I'm playing an assassin, a Sith assassin, tank. So I'm the tank in this instance. But this isn't any sort of assassin guide or tank guide or any sort of guide how to play. We're all quite new to this. I tanked a little bit in WoW, played a druid tank. So I thought I'd have a go in this game. So it's just to show Athiss, really. So don't look to it for too many details. I'm only level 22 in this video, as you can see. Haven't got a lot of the tanking skills yet, but I'm not going to talk about tanking. I'm not going to talk about it. So our party's made up of 2 bounty hunter mercenaries, which are pretty much DPS spec. There's 1 Sith sorcerer, which is our healer, and there's me. It's a bit of a disappointment, actually, that some of the instances go on to not be as detailed as the Black Talon. I've done a few now. My character is currently level 37, I think. But they sort of... The Black Talon was a great sort of story-driven instance, and you kept going back and forth. That your decisions in the conversations made an impact on the story, and it determined how the story played out. And it was so promising that things were going to, that BioWare had taken sort of that approach to instancing and made it very interesting. But the others have just been a sort of straight go through this instance and kill 3 bosses sort of affair. So it's a bit of a shame. But I mean, they're still fun nonetheless. It's just they really showed that they could do something interesting with it, and they haven't. I don't know if they were pushed for time or what, I don't know. It's just come out that way. Just if you're wondering what's going on in the video at this point, you can see in the bottom right of the screen, the mini-map, there's a flashing sort of quest hand-in sort of icon. I couldn't work out what that was for. I think Typhonius picked up some explosives. Now they've reappeared. I'm trying to pick them up. But even after, we've all picked up these explosives now because he got them, but still it's flashing. So I think everyone just decided to carry on without them, not worry about them too much. The other guys decided to go and pull some mobs without me there to tank them, which is a little bit frustrating. But we'll speed up some of the lesser interesting bits. You'll see me using quite a frustrating move for everyone, the sort of slam move. I can't remember its name. At this point in sort of what skills I have available for tanking, for AoE tanking especially, they're quite limited. I mean, I've got the sort of discharge move there, which puts the lightning over everyone. But all it really does, I mean, it does a little bit of damage, but it mainly just puts a debuff. I think it's an aim debuff on all the mobs it hits. So it's not really a sort of AoE tanking move. You get one called Lacerate a little bit later on, which again is rather weak, and Wither, that your main AoE tanking one doesn't come till much later. I think it's the top talent in the tanking talent tree. So I sort of do that slam move to generate a little bit more threat. Now I'm sure the bounty hunter is very, very annoyed with me because he's got Death from Above, which is a targeted sort of AoE. But I've noticed a couple of times since watching this video that he would do that just as I slam everything away, so his AoE his Death from Above doesn't hit anything. But I need to get through. I mean, we're not doing any sort of group tactics here, but I needed to generate threat first. Okay, so this is the first boss. We're halfway through it now. Ads come. The DPS managed to take them down very easily. I just stayed tanking the boss. In order to grab those other ads, I'd need my discharge to be off cooldown, which I wasn't, because I wasn't expecting the ads. I just kept putting the debuff on her, which is something you should try and do. But because we've got two bounty hunters, they're in heavy armor. They're pretty tough, and we've also got a very, very good healer. So it's really no problem for the DPSs just to take the ads down and me to stick on the boss. She's very easy though. And there, she's down.
For 1,000 years, they will slay you and return to the stars.
Some nice pants for the bounty hunters there. So the one guy had told us that the first boss had something to do with a knockback and ads that come, and he said it was the first boss, but turns out he actually meant the second boss. So I was waiting for some sort of knockback, and then he goes on to tell us that wasn't actually the boss that he meant. So we got by here. I thought these guys would actually aggro, but they're not. They're just writhing in pain. They won't do anything to you. But we use this little communications terminal up here, which leads us onto another little story and a decision to make. Okay, so there's no talking in this really. this is sort of what I mean. The greatness of the story you saw in Black Talon, and you end up sort of expecting in all the others. With regards to the choices you make, you sort of get them in other instances like this, but they're really just pick path A or path B. I mean, we chose to just destroy the beacon. You just get your dark side points. It's not really on the scale of the Black Talon story choices, but at least it's something, I suppose. You get your dark side points or your light side points, whichever way you've gone. Okay, so that's the sort of first part of the temple, and now we come over to a rather annoying outdoors section. It's got a path going around, lots of mobs, and I couldn't help but think of it more as a sort of time sink, really. I just wished everyone had stealth so we could get through it all, but you know, there you go. We'll speed things up until we get to the next boss. So we could have actually skipped these mobs. I've done the instance again after this run, and you can just run over that little ridge. And I think one of the guys was trying to lead them over there, but I was, this was my first sort of instance tanking without friends in the group, and I was a little bit on edge, and I sort of just started doing my own thing, which I'm sure annoyed the others, but hey, it's all experience, isn't it? Okay, we're just coming up to the second boss now. You can see him in the distance now and again there. Huge snarler. I should say that the targeting system really needs to be tuned in this. The tab, I tend to tab target a lot. I don't know if a lot of other people tend to use it. I know it can get people into trouble, but in this one there seems to be the priorities on it are a little bit screwed, because it sort of selects, if you just keep hitting tab, it sort of selects targets in a sort of order, but it's not an order that's relevant to you, or it's not ordered by threat or distance. It's just sort of the order in which the game has decided they should be ordered. But they really need to tune it up so it's, if not distance, then threat for a tank. But once they've got that, it should be half decent. It also needs a target of target quite badly, especially for tanking. So this boss has a knockback, like one of the guys said. I thought I could possibly tank him against that tree to the left there. In WoW you could have maybe done something like that, would have been quite safe. So that was my my first aim. I stealth up to him so I can choose when to start aggroing him. So there we go. He gives me a knockback, bang, slams me miles. Right, the tree's obviously not going to work. So I'm up against this big wall. The other guys have had to run up to get up to me. I think I'm doing alright here though. My health's not too bad. Unfortunately though, I don't get a decent view of what the hell is going on now. All I can see is a big dinosaur's nose in my screen. And even though I'm against the wall, he still ends up throwing me off to the side, so this is going to be a bit of a problem. There are some sort of corners. I've done it again since this, and there's a little sort of a corner in the wall to the left of where I'm stood now. That's quite a decent spot. If you get yourself in the corner, you can't really slam your left or right there, although he does try. So with this boss, adds do come, but the DPS can take them out quite easily. He slammed me miles. I'm still got threat on him though, and still within range of the healer, so it's not too much of a problem. It's a bit frustrating for me though, because I don't want the guys to have to keep sort of repositioning themselves. Got a fair chunk of health. I hadn't put the health numbers on the bars at this point in the game, so I can't tell you exactly how much he's got, unfortunately. Other than that, it's pretty much a simple tank and spank and deal with the ads. Really, nothing too difficult or challenging about it. If anything, it's just down to the healer. I think I'm as sort of geared up as I could be at level 22. Spec'd into the tanking tree, picked items with lots of endurance on there. Don't think I've started getting items with defense on there at this point in the game. It's just endurance and willpower, and then he's down. Not too much of a problem at all. Okay, we're going to there's one more boss now. There are some mobs sort of near to the end, and they are very tough, and we do use a little bit of CC just because they're so difficult to kill. So we'll speed things up now and bring it back again for these tough mobs before the boss. Okay, so these are these tough mobs. They're champions, so they're kind of little bosses, really. Very tough mobs. We haven't CC'd one yet. I think mainly because, firstly, we didn't realise how difficult they would be. I mean, not difficult as such. They've just got a fair bit of HP compared to most of the other mobs in here. So one went walking up the stairs before we started attacking this one. I think if I remember rightly, he comes back and our sorcerer whirlwinds him to CC him for a bit. So he does have a little bit of healing. Yeah, there you can see in the background. Our healer's totally on the ball. Spotted him and CC'd him. He's having a little twirl in the background. So take this guy down. Looking at it now, in retrospect, they're not hard, I suppose. They're not challenging. They're just more difficult than what we'd experienced yet in the game. So it's a good idea to look out for these guys, because one of them will be patrolling. So either wait till he's out of the room, or go and CC him quickly from stealth. If you're an assassin, you can use that sap move. I think it is it mind control? It might be mind control. That's a pretty good CC method. The only problem is you can't reapply it unless you vanish again, I suppose. The only problem with your healer instigating the CC is, as in every MMO, is they'll get the initial threat, so it's quite difficult against large mobs of enemies. So if you can avoid your healer having to CC, do so. So we'll just speed things up again here. There's a few more of these champions. I think there's another in this room. But we'll speed it up here until we get to the final boss. There you can see it's called Mind Trap. Mind Control is the taunt. Right, so that's all the disciples down. A little bit of a time sink, having to take these very tough sort of mobs out. Just something to slow us down and make the instance last around about 50 minutes, which is what they seem to. So this is the last boss coming up. Not a tremendous amount of tactics. It's the first boss we came to that I thought, oh, we're starting to see some group tactics coming to play here now, and some manoeuvrability. So this guy doesn't do too much. The only thing he does, which is a little bit annoying, is I think it's around about 75%, 50% and 20%, 25%, sorry, he'll disappear, and then 4 flame orbs will come from the 4 corners of the room, and they'll target a specific member of the party. and they'll start to follow them around. So you just need to kite them around a bit, and everyone else has to get out of the way. They are targetable, which I wish they sort of weren't, because you can't attack them or do anything with them. And in fact, the first time they appear here, this is the first time any of us had been in here, the first time they appear, I target one and I chuck some lightning at it. As soon as I see they can't be destroyed, you think, right, okay, there's something to be avoided now. At this point, I didn't realise that they targeted one person. I thought they just sort of floated around the room towards everyone. But it is just one person, so everyone else just gets out of the way. That one person kites around. The boss here, the Prophet of Vodal, he will reappear before the flame orbs disappear. So just if you're the guy that's being, especially if you're the tank like me, just stay out of the way. Just kite them around a bit and kite him around with you. See, they can't go down. You can sort of get fairly near to them, but there you see Typhonius, he gets caught in the flames. His health goes down a little bit. Not too much to be in any real danger, considering he's the healer, I suppose. But you do need to keep a fair distance away from these fire orbs. Or you will have a dot on you. I'm not sure if there's a debuff as well, but it definitely takes a fair bit of health off you. You can see the boss putting some debuffs on me there. I could have probably used Jolt and some other interrupts to stop him, but we were just tanking and spanking at this point, and it's a very quick cast time he's got, so I'm not sure it'd be worth even bothering to try and interrupt him, or just tank him as normal. So here come the orbs again. I think they're following me. I think they are following me. If not me, then Tucko. So you can see he's come back, the orbs are still following me, and then I end up catching a little bit of fire damage because of that. And I'm stunned, so that was quite frustrating. Violently hammering my my breakout ability to try and get away from it all. And it's just repeat 4 times. Avoid the balls, tank the boss. Tucker's got a little bit of damage. I mean, the good thing is you can deal with it. It's not causing too much damage if they do catch you. It looks like they're actually following him. So we'll just get the boss away from the orbs, over into the entrance to the room here. And now, as he's under 25%, it's a simple tank and spank until he goes down. So I think this is the 3rd instance on the especially on the Imperial side, with Black Talon being the 1st, Hammer Station being the 2nd, and then this one for around about level 20, 21. They do break you in nicely. Some of the instances I'm doing in the 30s, they start to need some sort of CC. From about Hammer Station onwards, you will start to need. Well, as from what I've seen anyway, I don't have too many problems in it as a tank spec. I've been with some people who are they're not dedicated healers, but they've healed just fine. I think I did Mandalorian Raiders with someone who wasn't a dedicated healer, and also Kadimima. And this is the end scene.
place for Sith Lords.
So I hope you've enjoyed watching this, giving you a little bit of a guide to Athiss if you fancy trying it yourself. I will try and get some more videos going as I go on. I don't know how interesting these sort of levelling up ones are, or if I should just do level 50 stuff when I get there. But feel free to subscribe and watch out for all new vids. Okay, thanks for watching everyone, bye.